Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Now, I always come back to this subject in these videos because there are far too many people out there who see this and take it as their green light to call people lazy, to just kind of bag on people and dump on people. I get those comments all the time, and the reason you typically don't see them on my channel is because I ban those people immediately. They come in and say things like, this isn't mental illness, this is just laziness. They just don't want to walk their ass over to the trash can and throw something away. That's a thought that comes from a mind that is really uneducated. No one is so lazy that their house gets this bad, let alone so bad that they have to move out. This is a well-studied and well-documented mental illness, and the people who have it typically know that they have it. They don't want to have it. They don't want to live in these conditions. To me, someone calling them names and bagging on them is just intellectually and emotionally lazy. People who jump on that dog pile typically can't even be bothered to do a 4-second Google search. And even worse, the idea of empathy is just a foreign concept to them. There are two very different mindsets in the reactions to these videos. 90% of the people on here will have what I have, which is, I wonder what causes this and how do we help those people? What sort of treatment can they get that's effective? And the other is just name calling, mocking, and equating that person to being evil. That second mindset has no place on this or any other cleaning channel. Anyway, sorry if that sounded ranty. I just have a deep dislike of that type of person. Now, this household did have hoarding problems, mainly centered around clothing, shoes, handbags, and yard sale stuff. It's like odds and ends, decorations, and whatnot. However, this was an extremely rare case where she was totally fine with us doing what we had to do and wiping the slate clean. She gave us full permission to throw away anything we needed to throw away. Now, I did attempt to keep as much as possible, but there was a mold issue in this house, so anything that was even close to black mold got tossed. Jason and I wore masks through the entirety of this cleanup, even after we were pretty sure the black mold was no longer an issue, and we wore gloves, and anything that touched our skin we ended up washing with basically an alcohol mixture, kind of like a hand sanitizer. There were also 2 rooms that I didn't allow Jason to even go near. Both were bathrooms and both had major black mold issues. I believe that the mold that's in there is dead, but I don't want to chance it. And I did let the owner know that this house is uninhabitable until they get a mold removal professional in there. And this brings me to another really important point in this cleanup. We are not deep cleaning this place, and we're not cleaning up any black mold. We're getting this house cleared out, and we're going to clean it as best as we can clean it with what we have. She's going to bring in deep cleaners later, and we're going to give the deep cleaners a major head start on the house. So we are going to wipe down counters and clean the bathrooms and the sinks. We're going to sweep and mop the floors and get a whole bunch of stuff scraped off. We're going to remove all the cobwebs. You're going to see some actual cleaning in these videos. But this is one of the rare times where I looked up and said, I think this part here, the black mold, is over my head. It's much safer to have a professional go in and do that rather than me trying to do it. The only thing I would change if I were doing this over again is I have 2 full-blown respirators that aren't just masks. They're meant to be a protection against toxicity in houses. If I had to do this over again, I would have brought both of those, and Jason and I would have been in respirators the entire time. I still think what we did was safe enough. We were wearing N95 masks through most of these and regular masks whenever it wasn't what we consider to be dangerous. We were just very careful to not disturb large patches of mold, because that's when spores can release, and that's when it gets really dangerous. But yeah, if we do another house that's got this much of a mold problem, if we do another one in the future, we're definitely going to be using respirators and probably Tyvek suits. Or another method I do is sometimes I'll release a wild moose into the house, and then moose are notorious for licking black mold. They'll just go through the house and they'll just lick all the surfaces until the black mold is gone. It'll be like, thank you. That was some good mold. And I'll be like, shut up, moose! Get out of this house! Please don't tell me to shut up. I am a friendly moose. Shut up, moose! We are working on 1 million subscribers. As of right now, we are at 543,000 subscribers. We already got our silver play button plaque at 100,000 subscribers. The next one is at 1 million, and that's the gold plaque. I do all these cleanings on this channel for free, and the only thing I want in return is that gold play button. So if you haven't subscribed, that would be the most awesome thing that you can do to help this channel out. Also, last week I gave a few shout outs and people really liked it, so I'm going to shout out 4 more channels that I personally watch and personally follow. The first is called DIY Wife, and all these links will be in the description. It's a really funny couple who do DIY projects, and she is extraordinary with woodworking. She takes ordinary spaces and turns them into things that are truly special, and it's just such a fun channel to watch. The next is Remy Clog. She's a mom who cleans, and she deals with everyday struggles, and her personality is just flat out addictive. Colleen Cleans, I believe she's Dutch, and she does what I do. She cleans for free. She deals with really extreme cleanups, and she's just the sweetest person ever. Her channel needs way more views than it actually gets. If you want to get in on the ground level at a channel that I believe has the ability to go big, Colleen Cleans is one of those. And my last one is an actual gaming channel. If you're into gaming and super funny people, Therm is exceptionally funny. One of the funniest that I've ever seen on YouTube. If you need videos to just chill out with and relax and laugh your butt off, even if you're not into gaming, his channel is super fun to watch. It's just ultra funny. And just like last week, if you go to any of these channels, let them know I gave them a shout out. And that's mainly because if you're a channel like mine and you see a big influx in viewers, it kind of drives you nuts wondering where they all came from. So go watch all those channels and memorize all their content, because there will be a quiz. It accounts for half of your grade, so suck it. Another really common question that I get is, aren't you afraid that you're going to do all this work and it's going to go right back to the way it was? The answer to that is always no. In many cases, it is going to get back in this condition. I have no way of knowing that. But just like with addiction relapses, it's often the case that the percentage of people who relapse or go back into this, lifestyle is extraordinarily high. I'm not really concerned about that. What I'm most concerned about is that a person asked for help. I have the ability to help. I saved them literally $50,000 because that's what it would have cost to clean up this house. And I've given them a brand new start. Now, in order to prevent this from happening again, it's going to take some therapy. It's going to take some practice. Cognitive behavioral therapy in combination with medication seems to be the most effective treatment. But if it goes back into this condition again, I'll just show up and clean it again. I'm autistic. This is my special interest. If one of my kids comes to me and says, "Dad, my car broke down. Can you help me fix it?" I'm not going to tell them no, because your car's most likely going to break down again. I'm going to help fix it. Then if it breaks down again, I'll fix it again. If they learn to fix it themselves, that's the best case scenario. It makes all of our lives easier, but they're not going to learn that overnight. That's going to take some time. A lot of people often say to me, I would make them help clean this up because they're never going to learn how unless they get their hands dirty. In my videos, I keep the people totally anonymous, and my rule is they don't touch anything. I do it all. I do that because what I get out of this is a really cool video, and I get the pleasure of coming in and doing the thing I like to do, but I don't want them coming in and having this cleanup be an extremely stressful situation, because it's going to teach them that cleaning sucks. In forcing somebody to jump in and clean this up, it becomes a punishment. I would much rather give them a clean slate, and then they can clean up as they go from scratch. So after I get all this done and I give them a clean slate house, they can start teaching themselves or learning how to do the dishes right after they eat, how to fold clothes and put them away rather than just setting them on the floor. That is so much easier to learn than to bring them into a house like this and say, nope, you made this mess, you're helping clean it up. This is your punishment. It's going to suck, and you're going to want to never ever do this for the rest of your life. It associates a negative emotion with a positive thing, and that in many cases makes the situation even worse. But if you believe the opposite, you're more than welcome to prove me wrong. Grab a camera, go find somebody who needs help, clean their house for free, have them jump in and help you, and then post that on YouTube, and I will watch that video. Hell, for that matter, I will promote that video on this channel and get you tons of views. In my eyes, the more people who do what I'm doing here, the better, because there are a lot of people, way more than you think, who need this exact kind of help and don't know where to start and will never ever ask for help because they're way too embarrassed. A little behind the scenes secret. If you're watching these videos and thinking that most people are watching these and learning how to clean, that's actually not my intent. My intent is to teach people how to be empathetic. Cleaning's mechanical. Anybody can learn how to do it. Empathy takes effort and practice. But once you have it down, it's not just other people who benefit from empathy. It's you. I used to not be an empathetic person. I used to very much be a you made your bed, now you lie in it type of guy. But my mind and my heart and my spirit have never been healthier than whenever I gave up that mindset and started helping people just for the sake of helping them. Even if this YouTube channel didn't exist, I would still continue doing this. The only reason that I even started filming it was for myself, because I wanted to see cleanups in fast motion, and I'd watched pretty much every cleaning channel that existed. I just wanted more and more and more. That's part of my autism. So instead of waiting for other people to do it, I just grabbed a camera and started doing it just for me. It was just a fortunate side effect that a whole bunch of people was just as weird as I am, in a good way, and decided to watch my content. Bonnie from A Beautiful Mess will be here on Monday. We're going to be doing some filming. She'll be here for an entire week, so expect a collaboration soon. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going through autistic burnout, or maybe I didn't mention it earlier. My brain is kind of foggy. If I didn't, I'm mentioning it now. I'm going through autistic burnout. Bonnie has kind of the same flavor of autism as me, and basically she's just going to come out for a week and hang out so that I can talk to another person who's autistic, someone who understands what I'm going through, and then we'll probably clean a house, but even if we don't, we'll do some work around my house. And I desperately need the break, and I need the social interaction that I can relate to. Regardless, we will be doing some filming no matter what we do, and we will likely do a live with myself, her, and Emily, and give you guys all kinds of updates that you've been asking for, like Emily's medical condition, when her surgery is going to happen, what Bonnie and I are up to, blah, blah, blah. Probably we won't talk a lot about blah, blah, blah. There's basically only 3 words in that discussion, blah and blah, and then also one more blah. But we'll talk about other things that are interesting. Anyway, members, I will see you on Wednesday. Everybody else, I'll see you next weekend. Later.